Amanda's latest collection arose from a challenge to develop a furniture range about herself. At an emotional time in her life, she found inspiration in the undiscovered legacy of her father. At her home, we found her work is also driven by the artistic talents she got from her mother.
Okay, wait. Just hold on a second. I barely set foot into your home and already I can sense the creativity that runs through your veins. What inspired your textile designs?
I think, Chris, that they were inspired by my mom. She is an amazing creative, and these little pieces of her artworks were done for my kids when they were born. The textiles or the cushions that my mom made is, I guess, the start of the inspiration for my brands. And she taught me from a young age to put colours and textures together for her quilts.
Thank you, Mom. If this is the beginning of your journey, can't wait to hear the rest of your story.
Well, I've prepared a few items for you to show you how our designs evolve. I love to use our textiles or each range that we develop and combine it with items I already have in my house. I don't believe in just throwing things out. I like to repurpose it, but in a way that it still makes sense in your home.
Amanda, what led to your first range?
Fashion was my first love. I think I made my first outfit from dishcloths in grade, I think 7 or 8. And my dad, I was the fourth girl, so he was a little bit weak at the knees by that stage. So he allowed me to do fashion design. And so I started with fashion. After my father passed away, he left me these amazing files with letters and signatures that dated back hundreds of years. And that inspired me to create the first textile range that we did.
Amanda's design benefited from her mother being both artistic and a journalist. Inheriting that inquiring mind led to all kinds of discoveries.
Also, in this period, I discovered these books and old photographs of my father and his first day of school. My son then just started school, and I was inspired by the history of that picture, you know, that first day of school picture. Everybody's got that first day picture, and I developed an assortment of jacquards celebrating 4 generations or 5 generations first days at school from my own family. So it was a very personal journey in our first range that we developed.
One advantage of running her office from home is that the quality control of these textiles is tested by Amanda's family using them every day.
This is a design that was done in the early 1600s by an explorer called Hendrik Claudius. He was a Dutch artist who fell in love with South Africa and the beauty in our nature, and he drew this lizard and snake. And when we saw the initial picture, we printed it and it looked fantastic. And then our brilliant embroiderers embroidered this design for us, and we fell in love with the technique and the texture. The cushion next to it is from George French Angus. He was a landscape artist in the 1700s and he came to South Africa to really draw the landscapes. We've got such an incredible, rich heritage in our archives, in the museums in South Africa, of these works that are just telling a story, a visual history of our country, a history that's not got any other connotation to it apart from recording the historic visual memories of our country. And sometimes we've got to look back to look forward, and I think if we can just take the history of all our different cultures and realize the incredible beauty there is in this combination of cultures and draw on all of that to kind of find a visual way forward. That's what I would love to do.
Homegrown textile printing has reached such high standards that these proudly South African prints are now possible, drawing on our country's rich visual heritage for imagery. In store, each item carries a tag with the history of the image and the artist.
We've got a wide range of product offers, from fabrics that can be used for furnishing to cover couches right through to bed quilts. So, I mean, we really offer a wide assortment, and I think in the way that we do our product development, each range lives with the next, each range evolves into the next, and I think that gives our product the authenticity.
This Chesterfield couch is Amanda's favorite, combining a vintage piece with textiles by a designer she admires. As for her own work, storytelling guides her creative process.
Your attention to detail is absolutely impeccable.
Thank you very much, Chris. The range that we used for out here is inspired by botanical artists who drew botanical plants in different ways from the 1600s to the 1800s. The ferns over there is actually done by Thomas Blegrave, who did photograms of the sun in 1880, and he fell in love with these plants that he found in the Wynberg forest. So it was a whole study just done on ferns. And the other range is from a herbarium in Cape Town, which is incredible studies of succulents in the Karoo. And we fell madly in love with the geometric shapes that was captured, how the dissections of the plants were drawn. It was really an actual study of these plants.
With designs from nature, these ranges also use lost printing techniques, ones which involve ancient chemicals reacting to the sun and imprinting silhouettes of plants. Dye master Martinique Ellis specializes in natural processes.
Martinique, nice to meet you.
Hello.
What do we have here today? What are we going to be creating?
Well, we're making an ice dye throw. It's really an interesting process. It's a waffle weave fabric. It's 100% linen. We cut a 3-meter piece and we crunched it up after soaking it in hot water for it to shrink a bit. And it's soaked in salt and soda ash just to treat the fabric. It actually just helps the dye to set and the color to stay onto the fabric. So the great thing is everywhere the ice touches on the fabric, that's where it's going to dye. So it gives you a very modern local tie-dye effect.
Dis lekker koud met ys, ja.
So then what you do is you get your dye and then you just sprinkle it very lightly over the ice. And the nice part of that, it's charcoal dye, but it actually gets an ombre effect of all the colors that's in charcoal because of the water that runs through the fabric, and then it gives an amazing effect.
And we finished one product for you, which is for one of your viewers. This is one of our ice dyes that's been completed, and that's what the end result. So you can see how the ice melts and how the dye gets pulled through into the actual product. And you can use it as a throw over your bed or over the back of a couch or as wall art if you want to.
And there you have it. You know what they say, imagination is the beginning of creation, and Amanda is certainly proof of that.
Thank you.
For your chance at winning this 3-meter one-of-a-kind tie-dye original by Amanda du Plessis, check out the top billing Facebook page for details.